Do you love the cozy charm of vintage farmhouse style but feel like it needs a little update for 2025? You're not alone. Many people adore that warm, rustic look, but also want a space that feels fresh, clean, and a little more modern. The good news? You don't have to give up the charm to stay on trend. In this video, we'll show you how to style a vintage farmhouse home in 2025, step by step. From the latest color trends to furniture ideas, cozy textures, and modern decor details, we've got everything you need to refresh your space without losing that timeless farmhouse feel. Whether you live in a country home or just want to bring a little rustic beauty into your modern apartment, this guide will give you all the inspiration you need. So grab a cup of coffee, get cozy, and let's create the farmhouse of your dreams with a 2025 twist. Let's jump in. 1. 2025 color palette for farmhouse decor. Color is the first thing that sets the mood in any room. And when it comes to farmhouse decor in 2025, the color trends are all about warm, earthy tones with a soft, modern twist. Forget the old, harsh whites and overly bright accents. This year, it's all about cozy neutrals and muted colors that make your home feel calm, grounded, and inviting. So, what are the key colors for farmhouse style this year? Let's start with Dusty Sage. It's a soft green with a natural feel that adds a hint of freshness without being too bold. Perfect for kitchen cabinets, accent walls, or even throw pillows. Next up is Greige, a mix between gray and beige. It's the new go-to neutral. Greige feels both warm and modern, and it works beautifully as a backdrop for wooden furniture, vintage finds, and cozy fabrics. Terracotta is making a big comeback in 2025, but in a much softer way. Think weathered clay pots, soft brick tones, and desert-inspired warmth. It adds depth and a rustic touch to any farmhouse space, especially in dining rooms or around fireplaces. And don't forget about soft mustard. This golden tone brings just the right amount of color without overwhelming the room. It works great in textiles like cushions, rugs, or patterned curtains. Paired with other earthy tones, mustard gives your space that lived-in, vintage charm. Now, here's the secret: balance is everything. Use these warm, muted shades alongside modern neutrals like warm white, creamy ivory, or soft taupe. This keeps the space feeling open and airy, but still full of character. Also, matte finishes are key. In 2025, we're moving away from high gloss and shine. Instead, choose matte paint, chalky textures, or even lime wash for walls. This creates a softer, more natural look that feels timeless and grounded. Try to avoid stark white walls or cold grays. They can feel too flat or sterile, and they don't really fit the cozy farmhouse vibe we're going for. Instead, aim for soft contrast. Mix lighter tones with mid-tone wood, add depth with darker accents like oil-rubbed bronze, or play with textures to keep things interesting. In short, 2025 farmhouse colors are warm, muted, and inspired by nature. They bring calmness, warmth, and a touch of modern simplicity into your home. Now that you've got the perfect color palette in mind, let's move on to the furniture that ties it all together. 2. Furniture must-haves, old meets new. When it comes to farmhouse style, furniture plays a huge role in setting the tone. In 2025, the look is all about mixing old-world charm with modern comfort, creating a space that feels warm, lived in, and effortlessly stylish. At the heart of every vintage farmhouse home is furniture with character. Think solid wood tables with visible grain, weathered finishes, and pieces that look like they've been passed down for generations. A rustic farmhouse dining table, for example, instantly brings that nostalgic charm. Pair it with mismatched wooden chairs or a bench for a relaxed, welcoming feel. Slip-covered sofas are another classic. They're soft, comfortable, and give that casual, come and sit a while vibe. White or beige slipcovers are traditional, but in 2025, we're seeing earthy tones like oatmeal, clay, and muted green making their way into the mix. Antique cabinets or sideboards are perfect for adding history to your space. Whether it's a vintage hutch in the kitchen or an old dresser in the hallway, these pieces tell a story and add richness that modern furniture alone just can't replicate. But here's where it gets fun, the modern twist. To keep things feeling fresh in 2025, balance those vintage finds with modern elements. Try pairing a rustic table with light-toned, sleek wood chairs or stools with clean lines. Look for modern shapes, rounded edges, and smoother finishes that contrast nicely with rougher, aged textures. Reupholstered antique chairs are also trending. You get the best of both worlds. The beauty of classic craftsmanship with new, updated fabrics that feel current. Go for linen, boucle, or other natural materials that stay true to the farmhouse feel. Even something as simple as a modern coffee table with tapered legs can breathe new life into a room with otherwise traditional pieces. It's all about that blend, old meets new, charm meets simplicity. Don't be afraid to mix styles. An industrial-style metal light above a reclaimed wood table. A mid-century armchair next to a vintage trunk. These combinations bring a unique, layered look that feels thoughtful and curated. Remember, farmhouse style is never about matching everything perfectly. It's about creating a space that feels real, lived in, and loved. So when you're choosing furniture in 2025, go for comfort, character, and contrast. Let your home tell a story, with pieces from the past and touches from the present. Up next, we'll look at how textures can make your farmhouse feel even more cozy and inviting. 3. Textures that make it feel like home. When you walk into a farmhouse-style home, there's something about it that just feels cozy, inviting, real. A big part of that feeling comes from texture, and in 2025, texture is more important than ever. In farmhouse design, texture is what brings everything to life. It adds warmth, comfort, and that lived-in charm we all love. Without it, even the prettiest furniture and color scheme can fall flat. Let's start with the basics. Raw wood is a farmhouse essential. Whether it's in your beams, shelves, or coffee tables, that natural and perfect grain adds a beautiful rustic touch. It doesn't need to be polished. Actually, the more natural and raw, the better. Next, bring in soft, cozy fabrics like linen and cotton. These are perfect for slipcovers, curtains, or even table runners. They look relaxed and effortless, and they age beautifully over time. Pair that with cozy knits, chunky throw blankets on the couch, knitted pillow covers, or even a soft poof in the corner. And don't forget soft leather. It adds a touch of richness and depth, especially in warm caramel or tan tones. A worn leather armchair or even just a leather strap detail on a basket can make your space feel a little more refined, but still rustic. In 2025, it's all about layering your textures to make the space feel full and rich. Try adding a jute rug under your dining table, with a cotton runner on top. Or drape a chunky knit blanket over a linen-covered sofa. These layers not only look beautiful but also create a sense of warmth and comfort you can actually feel. Woven baskets are another great way to add texture, and they're practical too. Use them for blankets, magazines, or even as plant holders. They bring in that handcrafted, natural vibe that fits perfectly with the farmhouse aesthetic. Want your home to feel even cozier? Mix smooth textures with rough ones. Pair a soft velvet cushion with a rustic wood bench. Or hang gauzy curtains next to a stone fireplace. That contrast makes your space feel interesting and inviting. The goal isn't to have everything perfect. It's to have everything feel warm, personal, and real. So, when styling your farmhouse in 2025, think texture first. Layer it. Mix it. Feel it. It's the easiest way to turn a house into a home. Up next, we'll talk about lighting, and how the right fixtures can completely change the mood of your space. 4. Lighting that sets the mood. Lighting might not be the first thing you think about when designing a space, but trust us, it can completely change the mood of your home. In farmhouse style, the right lighting doesn't just brighten a room, it makes it feel warm, welcoming, and full of charm. In 2025, the trend is all about mixing vintage charm with modern elegance. Let's start with the basics. Over your dining table or kitchen island, go for pendant lights. Choose ones with a rustic touch, like aged brass, matte black, or even hammered metal finishes. If you want something more cozy and classic, lantern-style fixtures are perfect for farmhouse design. They look beautiful in hallways, entryways, or even above staircases. For living rooms or bedrooms, add vintage-style table lamps in the corners. Ceramic bases, fluted shapes, and aged finishes are trending this year. Don't be afraid to mix materials. A ceramic lamp on a wooden side table? That's exactly the kind of contrast farmhouse style loves. Want something really timeless? Try wall sconces with exposed bulbs or old-school shades. They add instant character to any space, especially in reading nooks or above bathroom mirrors. Now let's talk. Matte black is still going strong. It's sleek, modern, and pairs beautifully with wood and neutral tones. Brass is another big one for 2025. But not the super shiny kind. We're seeing more of that soft, brushed brass look. It feels warm and vintage without looking outdated. Ceramic bases are also rising in popularity, especially in soft earthy colors like beige, olive, or stone. But no matter what style or fixture you choose, here's the golden rule of farmhouse lighting. Always use warm bulbs. Cool white light can feel harsh and clinical. It takes away from the cozy, layered vibe you're trying to create. Warm lighting, on the other hand, makes everything feel softer, more relaxed, like home. Think of your lighting as more than just a utility. It's part of the decor. It's how you set the mood. It helps you highlight textures, create shadows, and bring focus to your favorite spots. So, whether it's a lantern in the hallway or a vintage lamp in the living room, let your lighting tell a story. And speaking of stories, next we'll dive into those beautiful farmhouse accessories that make your space feel truly personal. 5. Decor details that tell a story. If walls could talk, your decor would be the voice. In a vintage farmhouse, every detail should feel like it has a past, a story behind it. And in 2025, farmhouse decorating is all about blending personal style with timeless charm. This isn't about filling your space with random pieces. It's about choosing decor that feels meaningful, collected, and cozy. When someone walks into your home, the little details should make them feel something: curiosity, comfort, even nostalgia. Let's start with antique finds. These are the gems that instantly add character. Think old clocks, faded mirrors, or a chipped enamel picture that looks like it came from grandma's kitchen. Visit a thrift shop, flea market, or even your family's attic. You'd be surprised at what treasures you can find. Handmade pottery is also huge in 2025. A simple ceramic vase with a natural glaze or a set of rustic mugs on open shelves adds warmth and authenticity. These handmade pieces bring texture, color, and a connection to something real and crafted. Then there's thrifted art, framed prints, sketches, or even vintage portraits. These don't have to be expensive. Sometimes the charm lies in the faded paper, the quirky frame, or the mystery of who the person in the picture might have been. Gallery walls made from second-hand art are a perfect touch in a hallway, stairwell, or reading nook. Want to bring in more farmhouse charm? Add vintage books, wooden trays, or metal enamelware to your tabletops and shelves. Stack a few books, top them with a candle, and place them next to an old clock. It's that simple. These layers tell a story of comfort and timelessness. Open shelves are the perfect place to mix old and new. Style them with care. A few neutral dishes, a small potted plant, an old photo in a rustic frame, maybe a handmade bowl. Keep it balanced. Too much feels cluttered, too little feels empty. The trick is to make it look effortless, but intentional. Everything should feel like it belongs, even if it's a little worn or mismatched. That's what makes farmhouse decor so lovable. It's real, not perfect. So when decorating your vintage farmhouse in 2025, don't just shop, collect. Look for pieces with heart. Decorate with things that make you smile or spark a memory. Let your home reflect your story, piece by piece. Up next, we'll look at how nature plays a big role in modern farmhouse design, and why bringing the outdoors in is a timeless trend. 6. Bring nature indoors. In 2025, one of the easiest and most beautiful Ways to refresh your farmhouse style is by bringing nature inside. Whether it's a sprig of greenery on the table or a potted herb on the windowsill, these little touches of nature make a big difference. Natural elements add more than just beauty. They bring life, freshness, and calm energy into your space. And in a vintage farmhouse setting, that connection to the outdoors feels completely at home. Let's start simple. One of the easiest ways to add charm is with dried flowers. Think wheat stalks, lavender, or eucalyptus. Place them in old glass bottles, ceramic jugs, or vintage pitchers. They last a long time, look rustic, and give your space that effortless farmhouse vibe. If you want something fresh, go for greenery or indoor plants. You don't need a jungle, just a few small plants in the right places. Try a pothose on a shelf, a fern in the bathroom, or a fiddle leaf fig in the corner of your living room. Even a little ivy trailing down from a cabinet can soften a space and add natural texture. Another favorite? Clay pots with herbs. They're beautiful, useful, and perfect for kitchens. Imagine a row of small terracotta pots with rosemary, basil, or mint sitting on your windowsill. It's practical and pretty at the same time. You can also get creative with wildflowers. On a walk, gather a few from your garden or a nearby field. Pop them into a mason jar or an old milk bottle for an instant, no-cost centerpiece. It doesn't have to be fancy, just natural and thoughtful. And don't forget natural materials in your decor too. Use woven baskets for storage, a wooden bowl for fruit, or a stone vase for flowers. These subtle details keep the space grounded and organic. The key here is balance. Mix dried elements with fresh ones. Use small plants to fill corners or soften hard surfaces. Don't overwhelm the room, just sprinkle in little touches that make your home feel alive. Bringing nature inside adds color, movement, and softness. And most importantly, it makes your space feel calm and connected. In a fast-moving world, that little piece of nature inside your home can make all the difference. Next, let's talk about modern farmhouse walls and how to decorate them in a way that feels both fresh and timeless. 7. Walls and floors with farmhouse personality. When designing a vintage farmhouse space, most people focus on furniture and decor, but don't forget your walls and floors. These are your bases. And in 2025, they play a bigger role than ever in bringing out that cozy, timeless farmhouse personality. Let's start from the ground up. For flooring, wide wood planks are a farmhouse favorite. Whether you go with light oak, weathered gray, or warm walnut tones, wide boards instantly add a rustic charm. They look natural, feel solid, and get even better with age. If real wood isn't in the budget, no worries. Faux wood tiles and luxury vinyl planks give you the same look for less, with easy upkeep. Looking for something different? Natural stone floors are another gorgeous option. Think slate, limestone, or terracotta. These materials bring texture and an earthy, old-world feel that fits beautifully in farmhouse spaces, especially kitchens and mudrooms. Now for the walls. One of the most classic farmhouse wall treatments is shiplap. You've probably seen it everywhere, and for good reason. It's clean, subtle, and full of charm. Run it horizontally for a more traditional look, or go vertical for a slightly modern twist. Either way, it adds texture without overwhelming the space. Another great option is beadboard. It's perfect for half walls, bathrooms, entryways, or even ceilings. It gives a soft, cottage-like feel and looks amazing painted in warm whites or gentle neutrals. Speaking of paint, skip the bright whites. In 2025, textured paint finishes in soft, warm tones are trending. Think creamy ivory, warm grayish, or pale clay. These shades create depth and warmth without taking over the room. Want to make a bold but tasteful statement? Wallpaper is making a big comeback in farmhouse design. Choose vintage floral prints, botanical patterns, or soft, faded plaids. A wallpapered accent wall behind the bed or in a powder room adds personality without going overboard. And today's peel and stick options make it easier than ever to experiment. Don't be afraid to mix materials. Try shiplap walls with wooden floors, or a stone floor with soft wallpaper. It's all about layering textures in a way that feels natural and timeless. Remember, your walls and floors set the stage. When done right, they make everything else in the room feel more grounded, more intentional, and much more farmhouse. Next up, we'll look at open spaces and how to make them feel cozy, connected, and full of charm in a modern farmhouse layout. 8. Quick styling tips anyone can try. Want to give your home that cozy farmhouse charm without a full renovation? You're in luck. In 2025, farmhouse style is all about small, intentional updates that make a big difference. You don't have to tear down walls or replace all your furniture. Just a few thoughtful touches can completely transform a space. Here are some easy styling tips you can try today. Let's start with the simplest one. Swap out your throw pillow covers. Choose linen or cotton fabrics in soft earthy tones, think muted greens, warm grays, or creamy off-whites. Add a few stripes or subtle patterns for that vintage touch. It's a quick switch that makes your sofa or bed look instantly more farmhouse-inspired. Next, add a rustic mirror to your entryway or hallway. Go for a wooden frame, something distressed, whitewashed, or in a warm, natural finish. A well-placed mirror reflects light, makes your space feel bigger, and adds a lovely focal point. Bonus points if it looks like it came from an old country cottage. Here's another favorite, vintage hooks. Install them in your hallway, bathroom, or behind a door. They're perfect for hanging coats, baskets, or dried herbs. Choose metal hooks with a worn finish or ceramic ones for a softer, handmade feel. Functional and beautiful, a true farmhouse win. Wooden crates are also a go-to. Use them for storage, display, or even as mini shelves. Stack a few by your sofa to hold books or magazines. Place one in the kitchen for fresh produce. Or turn one on its side and use it as a small plant stand. They're versatile, charming, and super affordable. Need a quick centerpiece? Try this. Grab a vintage tray, add a small vase of flowers, a candle, and a ceramic mug. Place it on your coffee table, nightstand, or kitchen island. That tiny styled moment adds personality without any stress. Don't forget your walls. If you're short on art, hang an old cutting board, a woven basket, or even a rustic kitchen tool. Anything with history and texture can become wall decor in a farmhouse-style home. And finally, layer your textures. Drape a soft throw blanket over a chair. Add a small jute rug in front of the sink. Put a linen runner down your dining table. These layers make your home feel warm, lived in, and loved. Remember, farmhouse charm isn't about being perfect. It's about being real, cozy, and personal. Even small updates can make a room feel completely different. So don't wait for a full remodel. Start with these simple tips and watch your space come to life, one charming detail at a time. 9. Cozy gathering spaces that feel like home. At the heart of every farmhouse is a place where people come together. Whether it's family dinners, lazy Sundays, or coffee with friends, cozy gathering spaces are what make a vintage farmhouse truly feel like home. In 2025, it's all about creating areas that feel warm, relaxed, and welcoming. And you don't need a massive space to do that. You just need the right vibe. Let's start with the living room. This is your comfort zone. Use plush seating like deep sofas or slip-covered armchairs. Throw in soft pillows and layered blankets. A chunky knit throw, a quilt passed down through generations, or a linen coverlet, all bring that cozy, lived-in charm. Arrange your furniture in a way that invites conversation. Pull pieces closer together. A coffee table in the middle, maybe vintage wood or distressed metal, can anchor the space. Add a few candles or a tray with books and a small plant. It's not about looking perfect, it's about feeling right. Now think about your dining area. Even a small breakfast nook can feel like the heart of the home. Use a wooden farmhouse table, or one that looks like it, and mix different chair styles for that collected look. Hang a statement light above it, like a lantern or a vintage-style chandelier, and you've instantly created a space that says, "Let's gather here." And don't forget the kitchen. This is where people naturally come together. Add a stool or two at your island. Display fresh herbs, cutting boards, or a basket of fruit to keep it feeling warm and alive. A little music, a cozy rug underfoot, and suddenly your kitchen is more than just functional, it's inviting. In every gathering space, the key is comfort. Use rugs to define areas, warm lighting to soften them, and personal touches to make them feel like yours. Add photos, handmade items, or vintage pieces that tell a story. These spaces are not just for show, they're for living. They're where laughter happens, where people connect, and where memories are made. Up next, we'll dive into the seasonal touches that keep your farmhouse feeling fresh all year round, without losing its timeless charm. 10. Seasonal touches that keep it fresh. One of the best things about farmhouse style is how easy it is to refresh with the seasons, without needing a complete makeover. A few thoughtful swaps can give your home a fresh new feel, while still keeping that cozy, timeless farmhouse charm alive. Let's start with spring and summer. These seasons call for light, airy touches. Switch out heavy throws and dark colors for soft linens, pastel tones, and fresh flowers. Use glass vases with wildflowers, woven baskets with light blankets, and cotton pillow covers in breezy patterns like checks or florals. A bowl of lemons on the kitchen counter? Simple, sunny, and perfect. Now when autumn rolls in, it's time to bring in warmth. Think earthy tones like burnt orange, mustard, and deep green. Swap your light throws for chunky knits, add a couple of plaid pillows, and light a few candles with warm scents like cinnamon or vanilla. Bring in natural decor like pine cones, wheat stalks, or small pumpkins. It's cozy, but still very farmhouse. For winter, make it feel layered and snug. Add faux fur throws, soft wool rugs, and extra lighting, like lanterns or fairy lights. Decorate with simple greenery, pine branches, or vintage ornaments. Even a stack of chopped firewood next to a rustic basket can bring instant winter charm. It doesn't take much, just a few seasonal details to make your home feel festive and welcoming. The trick is to keep your base neutral so it's easy to switch things in and out. Keep walls, big furniture, and floors in soft, natural tones. Then you can have fun with accent pieces and textures as the year goes by. And don't forget the scent. A simple seasonal candle or simmer pot on the stove can completely change the mood of your home. It's a small touch, but powerful. By adding these seasonal layers, your home never feels static. It evolves with the time of year and always feels alive and intentional, without ever losing that farmhouse heart. Coming up next, we'll explore how to use vintage finds creatively, so your home tells a unique story and feels truly one of a kind. 11. Creative ways to use vintage finds. Vintage pieces bring warmth, history, and charm to your farmhouse style. In 2025, you don't need a house full of antiques. Just a few well-chosen vintage items can make your home feel unique and full of personality. Start by looking in the right places. You can find great vintage pieces at thrift shops, flea markets, garage sales, or even in a family attic. And you don't have to spend much. Sometimes the smallest, most unexpected item becomes the highlight of a room. Vintage furniture is a great place to begin. A worn wooden chair can sit in a corner with a cozy blanket. An old dresser can work as a sideboard in the dining room. A vintage trunk can be used as a coffee table or to store extra pillows and blankets. These pieces add character and a sense of story to your space. In the kitchen, vintage tools can double as decor. Hang an old ladle or wooden spoon on the wall. Display enamel pitchers, aged cutting boards, or mason jars on open shelves. These simple touches can instantly bring out that farmhouse feel. Don't forget about vintage books. They're affordable and full of charm. Stack them on your coffee table, use them to style a shelf, or place them beside your bed. Faded covers and soft-toned spines make them perfect for a farmhouse color palette. Mirrors are another smart choice. An old wooden framed mirror in the hallway or bedroom adds both light and vintage flair. The small details in a vintage mirror, like a distressed frame or antique glass, make your space feel warm and personal. Try repurposing items too. An old window frame can become wall art. A wooden ladder can be used to hang blankets. Wooden crates can work as storage or shelving. These DIY touches are both creative and budget-friendly. The best part about vintage decor? It doesn't have to be perfect. Scratches, faded paint, and wear only add to the charm. They tell a story. They give your space a soul. Just remember to keep balance. Too many vintage items in one room can feel heavy or cluttered. Mix old pieces with new ones to keep your home feeling fresh and modern. For example, place a sleek lamp on an old table. Or add a clean-lined sofa next to a distressed wood side table. In the end, vintage finds help your home feel lived in, cozy, and full of meaning. And that's what farmhouse style is all about. Up next, we'll look at how to style your farmhouse in an eco-friendly way, so you can decorate beautifully while being kind to the planet. 12. Eco-friendly farmhouse styling in 2025. In 2025, farmhouse style is not just about looks, it's also about living better. More people now want homes that are not only cozy and beautiful but also kind to the planet. The good news? Farmhouse design works perfectly with eco-friendly choices. Let's start with furniture. Instead of buying new, look for second-hand or reclaimed pieces. Old wooden tables, vintage cabinets, or repurposed benches are all great. Not only do they add charm, but they also reduce waste. You give old things a new life, and that's good for the earth. Next, think about the materials in your home. Use natural fabrics like cotton, wool, jute, or linen. These are better than plastic or synthetic materials. Try linen curtains, cotton cushion covers, or a jute rug. These fabrics feel soft and natural and match the farmhouse vibe. When you buy new things, choose items made with sustainable or recycled materials. For example, baskets made from recycled paper or rugs made from old fabric. Today, many brands offer beautiful, eco-friendly options. Now let's talk about paint and finishes. Use low VOC or natural paints. These paints don't release harmful chemicals, so they're safer for your home and the air you breathe. And the colors, like soft whites, sage greens, or earthy browns, fit perfectly with farmhouse style. Another big part of eco-friendly styling is saving energy. Use LED light bulbs in your vintage lamps. They last longer and use less power. Also, place mirrors near windows to reflect natural light. That way, your rooms feel brighter during the day, without needing to turn on the lights. Plants can help too. Indoor plants clean the air and bring life to your space. Use clay or ceramic pots instead of plastic ones. Even growing a few herbs in the kitchen is a simple, green step. Don't forget about reusing and DIY projects. Turn old doors into headboards. Use leftover wood for shelves. Repaint an old cabinet instead of throwing it away. These small things add character and reduce waste. Even your cleaning can be farmhouse friendly. Choose natural cleaners like vinegar, lemon, or baking soda. Keep them in glass spray bottles for a stylish, simple look that's also safe. Being eco-friendly doesn't mean giving up style. It means being thoughtful. And farmhouse design is all about slowing down, using what you have, and making your home feel warm and honest. So there you have it, a complete guide to styling a vintage farmhouse in 2025. Remember, your home should feel cozy, personal, and full of charm. Don't be afraid to mix the old with the new. Add warmth with textures, use natural elements, and let your personality shine through the little details. Whether it's a thrifted mirror, a linen pillow, or a wooden crate, every piece should make your space feel more like you. Farmhouse style isn't about perfection, it's about comfort, character, and connection. Now it's your turn. Which idea are you excited to try first? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your favorite tip or how you're adding that vintage charm to your home. And if this video inspired you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more home styling ideas every week. Thanks for watching, and happy decorating!